Statistics continue even as migrant labor continue to suffer because of the lockdown. Unfortunately, politics continues also. The Congress party today was forced to recall the buses it had arranged for migrants at the Rajasthan-UP border. This after the Yogi Adityanath government held back permission, saying the buses did not have the requisite paperwork. The Congress has accused the Yogi government of doing politics. The BJP says this is opportunism. Either way, migrants suffer. It's our other big story tonight.
The nowhere people, desperate and helpless. First ignored by the system as the lockdown came into effect, and now reduced to political cannon fodder in the battle of one-upmanship between the Congress and BJP.
आपको भाजपा के झंडे लगाने हैं, इन पे अपने भाजपा के स्टिकर लगाने हैं तो बेशक लगाइए. आपको इस्तेमाल करनी है तो आप हमें परमिट दीजिए, अनुमति दीजिए कि हम उनका संचालन कर सकें. अगर आपको नहीं इस्तेमाल करनी है तो भी कोई बात नहीं, हम उनको वापस भेज देंगे.
Congress recalled buses it had arranged to ferry migrants shortly after its 4 p.m. deadline to the Yogi government to allow buses to ply expired. Priyanka Gandhi accused the Yogi Adityanath government of denying the migrant workers a safe home return.
जब तक हम इस राजनीतिक उलझन में पड़े रहे हैं ना, जब तक आप अजीब से बयान दे रहे हैं और तमाम इश्यूज उठा रहे हैं, तब तक हम कम से कम 92,000 लोगों को घर पहुंचा सकते थे.
The BJP responded. It accused Priyanka of opportunism.
खुद उनके एमएलए जो है उत्तर प्रदेश में लिख रही हैं, ट्वीट कर रही हैं कि कबाड़े बस थे, कई जगह स्कूटर, ऑटो, ये सब केस तो होना ही था. क्योंकि कौन सा प्रशासन ये चाहेगा कि कोई व्यक्ति काम में बाधा करे, वो भी अपनी राजनीति चलाने के लिए. तो ये स्वाभाविक है. कांग्रेस पार्टी को ठोस काम करना चाहिए अगर करना चाहते हैं.
The Uttar Pradesh police have slapped an FIR against Priyanka's personal secretary for forgery over the list of registered buses sent to the Yogi government.
ये बसें राजस्थान सरकार की बसें हैं और सरकार की बसों की सूची में से 460 यानी करीब आधी बसें फर्जी निकल जाएं. इन 460 बसें जिनको मैं फर्जी कह रहा हूं, उसके पीछे तथ्य है हमारा कि 297 बसें कबाड़ हैं, यानी सड़क पर चलने लायक नहीं, उनकी फिटनेस नहीं है.
On the border, over 900 drivers and conductors braved the heat for 2 days, expecting a call either way.
खाने का इंतजाम, पीने का इंतजाम किया गया आप लोगों के लिए?
नहीं, अभी तो कुछ नहीं हुआ. रात को आए थे 12 बजे.
रात को 12 बजे आए थे
जी. अभी तक कोई नहीं आया.
तो वो खाना आपने खाया क्या? कुछ
नहीं, हमने फिर मना ही कर दिया. हमने तो देखा भी नहीं. हमने कि हम नहीं खाएंगे, 12 बजे कोई खाने का टाइम नहीं है.
These buses have begun to return from here. It's been close to 30 hours for which these buses were stranded, and clearly this seems to be the kind of thaw that was expected. That is not happening, and the Congress has already asked the buses to return from where they had come. With Nikhil Sharma, Devankur Vadhavan in Bharatpur, India Today.
What does this bus politics tell us about the country and its fight against COVID, and more importantly, empathy for migrants? Sachin Pilot, Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan, is joining me at the moment. Mr. Pilot, politics over a bus. Migrants are walking home, taking trucks in dangerous conditions, and what do we have? A situation where buses which could easily take those migrants home are waiting at the border for permission. What does it tell us about the state of our politics, Mr. Pilot?
Not a good reflection, Rajdeep, unfortunately. I think if we just take a step back, today people are discussing this whole bus issue. Why did that need arise? A simple gesture by any individual, organization, political party or government to help mitigate the suffering of the millions of immigrants who are traveling all across our nation. There is no harm in doing that. I think one must be magnanimous enough to accept the help when India is fighting the crisis as a one country, one nation. If the Congress party says that we'll try and help migrants, giving them rail fares or arrange for buses or food or whatever it is, why should anyone take such a negative approach to it? I think the fact that to find reasons not to allow the buses to enter the UP border tells you that the priorities are misplaced for the UP government. I think being the largest state in India, if anybody is coming forward, and I think the issues that they're finding fault with is, license nahi hai or permits are not up to mark, etc. Government of India has given a clean waiver for all vehicles till June 30th. They don't need to be serviced. They don't need to have papers, documents, etc. It's a clean waiver by the Government of India. Then they're saying it's not 1,000, it's 950 or 800. I am saying even if it's 5 buses can take 20 people back home. If someone is sending you a relief measure or a bus or a vehicle, why don't you use that? Be gracious, be magnanimous, say yes, thank you very much, please send more.
No, what I'm unable to understand, Mr. Pilot, is a few weeks ago when it came to students in Kota, the Rajasthan government and the UP government worked it out very effectively, and buses came from UP, took the students who were stranded in Rajasthan back to UP. Suddenly, the moment Priyanka Gandhi enters, there's a problem. And the Congress is accused by the BJP now of a political stunt. They are saying, you could have done this much earlier. Why only UP? Do it in your Congress-ruled states.
We are doing it in all states. Every party president in all of India has been tasked with this. I'm the party president in Rajasthan. We're doing it here. We're doing it to Madhya Pradesh, to Punjab. But when it comes to, let's say, Priyanka Gandhi, because she's in charge of UP, she's arranged for those buses. And mind you, they are not government buses. Those are private buses organized through the Congress party. That's one. Fact number 2, you said about the quota issue where buses were sent and kids were able to go back home. I think there is a lack of a national policy on how to tackle the immigration problem for the laborers and for the working communities, because Government of India till yesterday night had no policy, no nationwide policy. So each state had borders were sealed, they weren't giving permissions, quarantine kahan karenge, there were all this confusion that was arising. But the short point is, when the buses are on the border, to arrest people, to detain 40 people, to put FIRs, to not give permissions, I think it's unbecoming at a time like this. Elections will come, we will fight it out, we'll have ideological differences, we'll give statements. But today, the country wants to see statesmanship. They want to see us working together to resolve this crisis. And I think by making this as an issue, today, the fact that the buses are stranded on the border of Rajasthan and UP are going back is not news. It's been made news because they were being stopped for a reason that I'm not aware of, unfortunately. No, and it shouldn't have happened.
The tragedy is we don't seem to have a national task force to fight COVID. We've had we've had battles between Mamata Banerjee's government and the center over trains. Now we have a battle over buses between Congress and BJP in UP. Surely, Corona is the one time, a lockdown of this nature is one time when we need to set aside political differences. Now, I concede that the challenge is on the center to take the first move, but are we clear that the Congress is willing to respond? Because I am now told Sonia Gandhi is going to have her own meeting of all opposition leaders on Friday.
As the opposition party, it is our duty to be constructive, to be able to give suggestions in writing and in whatever way and form that we can to help the government tackle the situation. If the government genuinely comes forward, the Congress party and everybody else will walk more than halfway to meet so that we can resolve this issue in the best way possible. It is a challenging task for the entire country to battle coronavirus. It's not going anywhere. Lockdown may finish, but the transmission of the virus will continue, unfortunately. So we have to be mindful of that. But the fact that buses are not being given permission, trains are not being allowed to move around because, elections are in Bengal or in Bihar, etc. I think this is not the time for all of this. I, for one, believe that a task force or whatever that you suggest, any suggestion is welcome. But one has to be willing to listen. One has to be open. I think nobody becomes smaller just because you accept help from somebody else. UP government is a large government, full majority government. How are they becoming so small and weak by accepting someone else's help and gesture? This is the time for magnanimity. This is the time to show openness. People of India expect better from us as opposed to this bickering over who will be allowed, who won't be allowed. Migrants are walking hundreds of miles on foot, on cycle, in cement mixers, in containers, hundreds of them huddled together. Is that safe? I want to ask the UP government, is that safe? If you're giving them buses to travel, let them go.
How will you respond to the UP government which says the Congress is waking up late?
Waking up late, though, I don't know. We're doing the best we can. Wherever we have governments, our governments have said that we will transport everybody and pay for them. There was a confusion about who will foot the bill for the trains, etc. That we've offered in volunteer. Every party, Congress unit in every state is willing to come forward. I think it's not the time. How petty does it sound for the BJP government to say, you've come too late? And if you've come to do something, we're doing it in other states also. But the fact that you have been so obstinate and so stubborn by not allowing the buses to travel, I think it really exposes the mentality with which the government of UP is working. They should really be introspecting as to see what more can be done to make things better, as opposed to have a confrontation which is helping nobody, sadly.
So let me ask you one final question. If you were to give a suggestion to the Modi government, what would that be at the moment? Would it be to set up this national task force that meets every morning perhaps to settle simple issues like public transport? People in this country, Sachin Pilot, citizens of this country are being forced to walk hundreds of kilometers and it still continues. My point is, give us a solution. What do you think is a solution?
I think solution could have been a much better stakeholdership, much better participation by all interested individuals, including political parties, state governments, NGOs, scientific community, come together, have a roadmap, take people's views. Ultimately, government will decide what it wants to do. But it should really have the openness to accept the views of a cross-section of people, get them on board, get unanimity, so people get confidence that we're doing this together. I think a bit more effort on that front will help us alienate the problem in the best way that we can. Last point, Rajdeep, I want to make. It's not about A versus B, center versus state. It's about we as policymakers, we who are in leadership positions, are we discharging our responsibilities to the expectations of people of India? People are watching what we do and say. Every word, every action is noted. I think we really have to rise above all of these things and do the best that we can. Elections will come 3-4 years later. We'll fight, governments will go, governments will stay on. That's not that important. But world must know that India is doing this together and we must lead from the front. As politicians, it's our job foremost to discharge and show that responsibility.
Very well spoken, Sachin Pilot. Fine words. I hope they are implemented on the ground because what has happened, unfortunate, migrants caught in a tangle of politics. Thanks very much for joining me here on the news today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.